Hello everybody, Regi time here, and today we're going to be looking at some hands I played on Coin Poker last night, so they're all fresh in the memory. Hopefully I'll have good explanations for some of the play I did. I think I played not great in some of the hands, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of reason for you guys, or plenty of excuses for you guys to poke some fun at me for some of the weak play, and it's definitely some weak play in here. But before we start, I'm just going to mention quickly about Coin Poker. I started playing on there 9, 10 days ago, something like that. Traffic isn't brilliant. It's not terrible. You can certainly get action. As you can see, I got 3 tables here, and later in the video, the table in the bottom right is going to fill up too. I had 4 tables last night. There was 5 tables running. So yeah, traffic isn't brilliant, but the games are relatively soft. They're not super soft. There's quite a few players who you could describe them as regs because they play multiple tables and they play quite frequently, but they're not especially tough to play against. Much like I'm not especially tough to play against as well, I would imagine. And there's, as you can see, as you're going to see in the video later on, there's definitely some fish in the games. I think it's a reasonable option. I think it's, if you got access to somewhere like Sky in the UK, then that would be better. But there's not great rate back on Sky. I mean, if you sign up through me to this site, you will receive 40% rate back, which is pretty good. But yeah, I don't want this to be too much of a spam-heady video. But if after the end of the video, after watching it, you decide you might want to take a look at the games, then there's going to be an affiliate link beneath the video that you can click. But just to make sure you're being tracked correctly, contact me in some way, either via email, via Facebook, etc. And we'll get you into a Discord group where we can make sure you're all set up and being tracked properly before you start to play. So there's nothing like messed up to mean you don't get the rate back that you were given. I would say this site's worth a try if you're a recreational player who just wants a bit of flat rate back rather than like playing on sites where you never get to get the good rewards because your volume's not high enough. I would say if you're a US based player, it's a good option to look at. And if you're a regular who maybe wants to get some extra rate back as a prop, there's also a prop deal that we can do for you, which essentially gives you 50% rate back if you meet some volume requirements. So yeah, get in touch if after watching the video you feel like you might want to deposit some money and have a look at the games. And also, it is a crypto site, but if you're not involved with crypto, don't like crypto, but just want to play anyway, there are ways that we can help you get money on the site that doesn't involve you using crypto or needing to use crypto. So yeah, get in touch if you want to get involved. But now we're just going to get into the hands and let's have a little giggle at how shit I played. So we're going to be looking at this table in the first hand, table 2, sorry, with the 2 kings. We have a player here, Lady Boss, very tight player in my opinion. Pretty familiar with this player already. Pretty damn tight. Tends to just have it a lot of the time when they're betting. I found out to my cost. This player is, in my opinion, it's got my green tag, but maybe I'm not sure if it's like a flat out rec player or one of the regs who were talked about who plays multiple tables. Seems to play relatively often, but doesn't seem to play super well. Anyway, that's my read on this player. We have the kings with clear, super simple cold 4-bet, so we won't linger any further on that. And then we'll see what happens thereafter. So we put the cold 4-bet in. This player just cold calls the small blind. Sorry, not the cold 4-bets. Yeah, it is a cold 4-bet. Sorry, so this player's called a cold 4-bet out of the small blind. Clearly, maybe there's some traps in there, but you'd imagine that's going to be just a relatively recreational player doing relatively recreational player type things. I think their range for doing this is going to be maybe jacks through, all pocket pairs up to jacks, maybe even queens, who knows. I think there's going to be some like ace king in there that doesn't want to jam. There's going to be some ace x suited, like ace queen suited, maybe ace jack suited, maybe, but probably unlikely king queen suited. But probably, I don't imagine there's going to be too much ace in there that's just trying to trap us. I wouldn't imagine. The flop comes down 6 deuce 10 rainbow, and we have an SPR of whatever that is. Not even one, well, about 1.5. I elect to go with around just over half pot. I'm not really sure what size I should have made that there, really. I mean, there is some merit to jamming. You know, just try and make sure we get all the money from pocket jacks, pocket nines, etc. that maybe just don't call. I think maybe jamming's better than this. Or maybe betting really small. I'm not sure. I had no idea. We got that cold 4-bet and a cold call. And we've got an SPR of 1.5. It's not a particularly common spot. I wasn't sure what size to go. I chose that one. But I think we could have chose a number of different sizes. An opponent calls. Turn is an ace. Not in love with it. We're now left with like an SPR of 0.5. But I don't love the ace. Not because necessarily think it has a beat very often. I don't think it has a beat very often at all. It's just it probably kills our chances of getting much more value from the types of hands we were talking about earlier, like pocket jacks, pocket eights, pocket nines, that type of thing, pocket queens even. I'm not sure if we should still just jam. I don't know. Could be weak. But we check back. And then looks like we're going to shove the river. But then we didn't. And I'm not sure if this is like the first weak play. When this player goes like cold, call, 4-bet, check, call, check, check. I think kings are always just the best hand here. I think we should just shove. I think this is pretty weak from me. What was going through my head was I just don't expect him to call with anything. I think at this point he's just got like pretty much pocket jacks, pocket queens, in terms of like what might call that we beat and not a lot else. You know, maybe he's got like an ace queen suited that he just is being super passive with. I just bottled it basically, and I ended up checking back. And I think that's a little bit weak from me. He had 2 8s, probably wasn't getting called anyway. But yeah, I wasn't in love with. I mean, we get all the money if the turn's like another 6 or a 7 or something. We just get all the money by shoving the turn. But yeah, that could have been just a little bit pathetic from me there. Now we move on to the next hand. The same table again up here. It's going to be the ace queen offsuit. Tight player raises the button. Now they are pretty tight, but they do seem to like open the fair share of buttons at small blinds. Definitely a nit this player, but you know, not outrageously nitty in terms of like they seem to steal at decent frequencies. We obviously have a pretty easy 3-bet with the ace queen, just hoping not to get 4-bet. But if we do, we have an easy fold. Call. And this is a spot where I think I played this hand very badly, to be fair. This is probably like an absolute slam dunk range bet. Well, not probably, it just is a slam dunk range bet. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure why I didn't bet. I mean, there's no excuses for this. I just didn't bet, and I think it's a mistake. I think I probably should just bet like, I don't know, something like $2, something like that. If we get called, then you know, hopefully we just rip a jack off on the turn or something. I just wasn't sure. I think this player, like, I'm not sure what the 4-betting range looks like. I think ace king's probably in it. We block king queen, we block ace king. I just thought this player was going to have a lot of like pocket jacks that weren't folding. I didn't think they were going to get too many folds basically against a pretty tight player who I don't know. I just played the hand shit. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. I just decided I didn't want to range bet versus a player this tight, and I think that's bad. We should just absolutely bet our hand there. Try and take the pot down. We turn a queen, and again here now is now can we try and value bet against maybe pocket jacks? Can we try and value bet against maybe something like jack queen suited, etc. I think we should bet again here. Just again, we check back the flop. Now we've improved. I think we should definitely value bet, and we didn't. Played it like a fanny. This player now bets around 2/3 pot. I don't think they're going to have too many bluffs here. I don't think they're betting jacks, for example. Don't think they're betting nines. Don't think they're betting 10x. Don't think they're betting queen x. No idea what the bluffs look like. I just got lost. I fucked the hand up, basically. royally fucked the hand up, but clearly we can't fold. We're kind of right at the top of our range for playing the hand this way, and it's a badly played hand. River looks like a total brick. We check again. We continue to completely fuck the hand up and check. I think at this point, as play, we need to check. By the way, betting would make no sense. And then this player bets just over half pot, and I say, well, now what? Just now what? I mean, it's completely not beyond the realms of possibility that they have Ace Jack here, but I think Ace Jack probably just bets bigger, given we called the turn. There are some two pairs out there. Guess King Queen's a thing. Queen 10 suited in clubs, I guess, is the only one that's out there. Yeah. Bluffs. I wouldn't know what bluffs look like here. I just fucked the hand up, basically. Yeah. Don't know what I was thinking throughout the entire hand. Basically, I was just scared that this player was quite the nit and wouldn't call. Like on the flop, I was afraid they wouldn't fold a hand like jacks. On the turn, I didn't want to bet it because, I don't fucking know. I just played the hand badly. Out of position to nits in 3-bet pots with like this kind of marginal strength hand. It's not a strength of mine playing these sort of situations, and I didn't play it very well at all. Now the question is, do we just have to call here because we're like kind of right at the top of our range? We're folding this. We're folding pretty much everything. Maybe if I play Ace Queen this way, maybe I play Ace Jack this way too. Who knows? And thinking about what better hands I might have to call with here, King Queen might be one, but we'll certainly see bet the flop. I'll raise the turn with that. Yeah, it's a clusterfuck basically. Not a well played hand from me. In any stretch, I ended up just folding because I don't like paying nits off. But I think, maybe we save money. Maybe they just had a better hand than us. But I'm not happy at all with the way I played that hand. It's possibly one of the worst played hands of the month by me. Moving on, I think to table 1 now with the Ace King of suit. Reads on these players is Red Apple. It's another one of these like regular types. Seems to be playing quite a lot. I haven't been impressed with what I've seen so far. Kind of like just a tightish fish in my opinion. Maybe weak reg, not sure. This player was definitely a fish. This player was definitely a fish. So we just have the easiest called for bet ever. Looking to get it in. First fish gets out of the way. Second fish calls. We've now got like an SPR of what's that, like 0.8 or something. Without a position, I just think it's all in here. Yeah, this guy is going to have some 10x, some jack x that's going to call. They're going to have some pocket pairs that just decide to call anyway. But we've got 2 overs and a good shot. And a cold 4-bet pot against someone who's just gone call. So whatever. He's going to put the money in and run the cards out. And we had the same hand, so we were long. This hand's kind of in just more to like demonstrate that, even though it's not a particularly high traffic site and there are some people who are like, well, it's just going to be all regs. It's not all regs, as you can clearly see by this. And we've got a blue tag player here too. These on 2 tables, etc. This player, clearly a fish, playing 2 tables. Games are good enough, plenty good enough to warrant me encouraging anyone to at least take a look at the site. If you're a good reg, you'll do well. So here we have 2 deuces, and we elect to flat the small blind because of the presence of this guy in the big blind, who is quite a fish. Not a whopper by any stretch, and no offense if you ever come across this video, but not a skilled regular. He hadn't been very aggressive whatsoever. I just think we're going to see a flop a lot of the time here. So I don't really want to 3-bet, don't want to fold. And there we go. Surprise, surprise. We flop ourselves a set. We obviously check. Our opponent bets around whatever that is, 3/4 pot. Is it something like that? Not sure. If it'd gone smaller, I would check raise for certain. Against bigger bets, I'm happy just calling and hoping they just continue to put big bets in. So there's going to be no raising of this size. If it made it like 90 or 80 or something, then I would have raised for certain. He didn't. He made it a big size, so we went with the call. Turn queen, check again. I don't think he'll be check raising this turn very much at all. He bets 2/3 pot this time. I think if we check raise here, we kind of sending a real strong message to our opponent that we're just pretty nutted. Yeah, of course, if he's got like pocket kings, pocket aces, etc., then he's probably not folding. But I'd hate to have him like bet fold a hand like king queen here or ace queen or something like that. Not that I necessarily think he always has them. But again, happy just to check call at this point. Which we do, and the river is a 7, and I was very much in probably go for a check raise on the river. We can, we can rep a lot of stuff here that's missed. Club draws have missed. Like suited wheel X's have suited ace X wheels have missed. If we had on like king jack with the diamond, king jack of clubs, king jack of diamonds, they've missed too. I think we should just raise this pretty routinely. Probably just make it something like, I don't know, 21, 22, something like that, and hope they call. But then when I was like thinking about that, I was thinking about raising. I was like, well, if they jam, I was thinking like what hands call, and that's just, again, this is a poorly played hand from me. I think this should just be a big raise, and then puke if they jam, because we're always beat if they jam. But just expect to get called a lot by ace queen, pocket kings, pocket aces, queen 10. There's just so many hands that can just call here, and then so we get loads of value when we raise and we get called. And then we, if we raise and get jammed on, we have a pretty vomit-inducing, probably fold, I guess, because he had very much doubt he like bet 3 bets this river with a hand worse than bottom set. So I think it's a check raise, but then I didn't want a check raise fold, so I ended up being really weak. This is like, I think this is another hand that I played incredibly badly. It's not a good session for me last night in terms of how well I played. I ended up just being really weak and just calling, because I just didn't want to. It was like 100 blinds deep, it's easy, the money's just going in. But there's still like, just a lot behind, there's 150 big blinds behind here. And I started thinking to myself, do I want to get 150 bigs in here? Am I going to be capable of like raise folding? Like raise this to like 21, 20, fold to a shove? I haven't got that play in my locker. I would just call and pay off, and I didn't want to put $37 in here, which I thought I might be asked to do some of the time. It's weak. It's bad. It's weak. It's a super trivial raise, and I didn't make it. I just ended up calling, which is very disappointing. I mean, we got lucky this time because he turned a bigger set. So we did save money, but that's not to say it's a good play. I think the reason for my play being weak tight so far in this video, and so far on the site in general, is because I only started with that. The player I'm working with, he gave me $125 just to try the site out. I spun it up to 500, which is nice. Said it was 125 back. So now I'm kind of playing off a sub $400 roll, and it's not much. So I'm kind of just being a little bit more careful and cautious with it while we try to build it without like risk of ruin. So I'm definitely being very much on the weak tight side, which isn't a lot of fun, and it's not good play. So I'm not trying to pretend. I'm not going to defend my play. The ace queen earlier was terrible. This pocket twos not raising the river is terrible, and let's not pretend otherwise. They're both pretty bad, but maybe we saved money both times. But whether we did or we didn't, it's no excuse for bad play. So this hand's going on a GLP again. We haven't glitched. We're going down to this table now with the king queen of hearts. We have a Regi recreational player limping, and this other player who I think is like weak reg / tightish recreational player over limping the button. This player, this positive fish, he gives me problems. I think from what I've seen so far, he's the best player that I've come across in these games. When I first played against him, a table started against him a bit. I didn't think he was too good. Turns out he's much better than me. And then when I looked at some of the higher stakes games, he also table starts 15 100 and plays 15 100. He's just better than me. Fortunately, we have position on him though, so it's not too bad. But he routinely puts me in the bin, and fair play to him for that. It's just I think he's a pretty good player. Anyways, we have the King Queen of Hearts, and we elected just to check, which I think is really fucking weak again. I think maybe that's to do with this hand going on up here, to be honest with you. I think I was preoccupied up here and just autopiloted this pre-flop. Again, not good. Bit shit of, well, not a bit shit, very shit of me, because this is like such a slam dunk isolation. This is not my finest out at this play on this video, but there's not a lot of point in putting videos out if all you're always showing is like, oh, look at me, I play well, look at these games, they're really shit, come and get in them. This isn't just a spam video. I mean, there's an element of spam to it, of course, but it's also, I want it to be honest. I want it to protect my integrity, and, we're not playing well this session. It's not a good session. Anyways, it checks to this player who then just decides to bet around 3/4 pot. This board's pretty good for us in a limped pot. It shouldn't be that good for me. Now, of course, he can have some hands. He can overlimp some like pocket fives, pocket threes. He can overlimp some 6-7 suited, that type of thing, some 8-9 suited. So he's not devoid of relatively strong hands here, but I don't think he's going to be super nutted. And we just have a hand that's got decent equity, and we don't mind trying to put some more money in the pot. So we go with a check raise. The fish folds, which isn't ideal because now we're heads up against the better player. He calls. Turn is a deuce. So when he bet calls that flop, I think he's going to be very much in one pair territory or draws. I think if he's got a strong hand, he's going to want to protect it. He's going to 3-bet a lot. Just say he's flopped 2 pairs, or say he's flopped a set, or something like that. I think he's going to want to bet 3-bet quite a lot when versus a check raise. And just try and get it in. So when he doesn't 3-bet, I think he's going to be in one pair and draw territory. So I think we're fine to go again with the bet here. Quite ironic that we've had 2 relatively strong made hands that I've been not remotely aggressive with, and then for the first time in the video we have an unmade hand. Well, not the first time we had the Ace King up here, didn't we? We have an unmade hand, and I'm more than willing to put money in. An opponent calls again. We reach the river, and we actually river something now. And again, we started this hand a bit deeper, so now we're like a kind of weird spot where we've got 100 big blinds behind still, and we've got there, but not in the way we wanted to get there, because we made a pair when really we wanted to make a flush. So I wasn't sure here whether we just go all in to try and monkey rep the missed hearts and hope to get a hero call from 8x. Do we check and allow him to maybe bluff a hand like 6-7? Maybe he bluffs. Maybe he's had hearts too. There's still some hearts he can have. There's plenty of 6-7 hearts, 9-10 hearts, things like that. Ace 10 hearts. If he overlimps that, ace wheel of hearts. He's not, just because we have 2 flush cards, it doesn't mean he's devoid of flush draws. So I wasn't sure whether we wanted to just bet and bluff catch, check and bluff catch, whether we wanted to overbet shove, try and get hero calls from 8x. I didn't really know what to do. I think we should probably bet, but I don't know if we should block. I don't know. Basically, I have no idea what the best play is here in this scenario where we've limp pot pre, we check raise, we bet turn, and then we've got there in a way that's a little bit hidden. I wasn't sure what to do, to be honest with you. As you can see, we're taking quite a bit of time over our decision. In the end, I elected to check and put my hand in a kind of bluff catcher bucket. I think the amount of hands you can call with, probably has a few more hands he might want to bluff with than call with. When the queen comes, I think a lot of his 8x, pocket 7s, pocket 6s, etc. I think they all fold. Whereas maybe if we check, his misdraws maybe want to bluff a little bit. Who knows? Anyway, we checked. and we don't get to see what he had. He just mucked and we won. So another, I don't know if that's weak or not, that hand. I don't know if it's fine. I don't know. Feels a little bit weak. Again. And what next hand? What hand are we looking at next? I think it's just Jack 9 down here. We have a limped pot. Recreational players limp the button. We've got the Jack 9 suited. We flop ourselves an open ender. We lead out for 2/3 pot. Our opponent calls. Turn is a total brick. He shouldn't have much 3x in his range. I wouldn't imagine. He can, should we be trying to make a player bluff here, make a player fold here? Like what kind of hands call the flop? I mean, it's a limped pot. He can just have all kinds of stuff that missed the flop or doesn't want to fold yet. Then we can make fold here. Some random ace-x if he's got a hand like ace-7 offsuit, or if he's got a hand like king-8 offsuit. Who knows what he'd fish? They can just, people just have random floats, don't they? So we can bet again to try and make him fold some random floats. We're not going to make him fold a better hand, that's for certain. But we have equity against most of his range that calls. So I think I like to go with the bet again, just to like make his random flop floats fold that have us beat or have equity. Oh, man, he's not going to fold equity, but you know what I mean. If he's floated a hand like 6-5 of hearts on the flop, just having folding that now is not the worst thing in the world, because we don't have a hand that can check call any bets. Anyway, he calls again. We river a strong hand. It's not nutted. It's not a flush and it's not ace jack, but it's plenty strong enough hand to go for a value bet. And now we're just hoping our opponent's got a hand like king queen. I don't know, king 10, queen 10, even a hand just like, I don't know, fucking jack 10 or something. There's plenty of value to be had here. Although we'd rather it wasn't a club. So we go with a relatively large bet. And he absolutely turbo min raises, which is not fun, because all the draws have got there. The ace jack has got there. The clubs have got there. He might have a full house. It seems unlikely, but he might have a full house. So we don't beat very much of his value range, if any of his value range. And like, what bluffs can he have? So I didn't like the spot. I mean, clearly we're not folding, but I was not in love with the spot. I was calling here and just like, yeah, I'm going to lose, but call anyway. We did call. And he had that, which was probably one of the only value hands that he could have that we beat. Yeah, I was surprised to win that one. Now, kings at 2 tables here. No idea which one we're meant to be looking at. But we're going to... I think this one doesn't go anywhere. I think this is the one we're looking at, but who knows? Keep your eye on both pocket kings. Flops top setup here. Yeah, this is the one we're looking at down here, because this one just goes c-bet fold on this top table. So we're looking at this one here. Same player as the last time who had the king 10. Is it? I'm not sure. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. Is it the same player? No, it's not. It's a different player. It's a different player. So anyways, we've opened, he's min 3-bet, or virtually min 3-bet. We go with the 4-bet. Don't like my sizing in hindsight. It's too small. Way too small. He calls. Hook comes down ace high. Get back to diamonds. Again, it's a spot where we theoretically should just be range betting a decent amount, I think, but with this exact hand against a whale, just not willing to do that. We turn a flush draw and a gut shot. Gut shot straight flush draw, actually. He min bets. We just called. River, he min bets. And again, I think, I'm not sure. I don't know if I played this hand fucking weak or not. I'm not sure if we can raise for value here against Queen X. But he's a whale. He can just have a lot of random ace X. Mr. Weak Tight Regi just calls, and he had the ace king. So as I said at the start of the video, whilst there are regs in these games, most of them are pretty inactive, pretty docile regs, and you get plenty of cracks at the whales without people getting in the way. And this time we had a good crack at the whale, but sadly the whale The whale got there. The whale just got there. Never mind. Here down here, we're looking at the ace king, I imagine. That's what we're looking at now on this table, table 4. We've opened under the gun. A call out of the small blind, who is another recreational player. I think he was at 2 tables, was he? Yeah, he's at 2 tables. Not a full stack on either. Well, not a full stack here. Does have a full stack here at the moment, but he was definitely identified as a recreational player, not a reg in any capacity. Check. We're going to bet. He's going to call, I imagine. Otherwise, we'd the hand be in. He just call. Turns a red 7. Pretty bad card. Flushes get there, straights get there, some 2 pairs get there around the 9-7, the 6-7, etc. So not a great card. He leads out now for exactly half pot. Don't see much point in raising. I think we just have a pretty comfortable call. There was a 9, which is not the worst card in the deck, because now we beat 6-7. If you had king 7, we're now beating that 2. He bets again, exactly half pot. We just have a very trivial call. Nothing much more to say about this. This hand's just in because just to show you guys that these games can be pretty good. This guy's just called the small blind with the king 5 offsuit. So yeah, there's definitely fish to be seen in these games. That was more of a spam hand than anything else. This, I think, might be the last hand of the video. We've got queens, middle position. This guy is a pretty big whale. He's at 2 tables. He's got the blue tag. He's pretty whaley. He uses caps lock when he chats. That's not a good. It's usually not a good sign that someone's particularly intelligent and well glued together. This guy is glue all right, but he's not well glued. So yeah, this guy's definitely, so far, I think he's one of the biggest whales I've come across. And delightfully, he plays more than 1 table, and he doesn't rat hole. He doesn't disappear when he stacks up. So yeah, we're delighted to see this guy at the table. We go with the 3 bet. This kind of meh reg cold calls the button, which maybe he would do anyway, but maybe he's doing it more because of the presence of this guy. Who knows? Maybe his range is a little bit wider because of this dude. This dude now just bets like 1 big blind into many big blinds. We want this guy out of the way here. We're just going to raise pretty big, and we're just willing to run it against this guy. If he's got us beat, he's got us beat. Never mind. It's going to be pretty fucking hard for him to have us beat, but who knows? I mean, what we don't want to do here, if we raise and this dude goes all in, we might be in trouble, but we just have to not worry about him and just concentrate on trying to get value from the blue tag. And he snap goes all in. We snap call. We're running it twice, which is a really nice feature of this site, because especially when you're playing off a short roll like I am at the moment, the running twice feature, it does definitely cut down variance, doesn't change the EV at all, but does cut down your variance. That's the idea anyway. So I was more than happy to run it twice. Bit disappointed to see this guy had as much equity as he did, but still a very good situation where the guy's got no pair outs, he's only got diamond out, sort of like running chops for the straight. Turn 9 river jack, 1-0 to us. Turn ace river king, 2-0 to us. And then we drag down a pretty nice pot, pretty nice pot. So yeah, there we go. I'm not at all happy with my playing that video. I'm certainly playing too weak tight. The end of the month, the first half of the month, I was playing really well, running really well, full of confidence. Outside of the coin poker site, I've had a pretty rough 10 days on the other sites I play on, the iPoker skin that I play on, and on Sky. I've lost as much as I've won on, or maybe not quite as much actually, but it's not been good anyway. I think we're up about $350 on the coin site. We made about $350, but I think I'm probably down 200 or so, at least, well into the 200s on the other 2 sites. So it's not been the best of, maybe it's been a pretty mediocre last second half of the month, and you could tell in my players it's definitely affecting my confidence. You just get monster under the bed syndrome, fear of failure, all those types of things. So yeah, I didn't play well last night. It was a good session because we managed to do pretty well against some pretty mediocre players. But yeah, I'm not playing anywhere near my best at the moment. I think I've been jumping around too much. iPoker, Sky, the coin site. I think like at least for the start of October, I'm just going to be focusing exclusively on that building a bankroll on this coin poker site. Hopefully, starting to build something of an affiliate scheme where I can get some of you guys involved. Hopefully, you guys make some money. Hopefully, I make a little bit of money too. I don't make a lot from this, but if I can create any kind of passive income whilst directing you guys into like good games or games that I think you can definitely make money in, that's a good thing. I would never put you guys away and say, right, come and play here. That's why you never see me. I mean, it would be quite easy for me to just like start streaming Russian Cash or start streaming like the ACR Blitz games, get an affiliate deal, get a link, and say, "Come on, guys, come and join me on here." I don't think those games are good. I wouldn't promote anything that I didn't think was good for viewers of my channel, for people in my Facebook group, etc. It's a decent little site. Like as I said, liquidity isn't always brilliant, but if you start games, they will run. If you're comfortable playing um, short-handed to start games, it's a really good site for you because you'll just get to beat up quite a few pretty tepid, weak type fish who also don't mind stake game, weak type regs who don't mind game starting. If you're a recreational player, there's other regs you can play against. The regs aren't particularly tough, and you get 40% flat rate back, which is better than you'll get elsewhere. So there are definitely benefits to the site. Is it the best site I've ever played on? No, of course not. And I'd be a liar if I said so. But if I didn't think it was any good, I wouldn't be playing there, and I certainly wouldn't be promoting it. I think it's something worth looking at, and I think it's a site that will continue to grow over the course of the next 12, 18 months, 2, 3 years, what have you, especially as gambling regulations in the UK and some other areas get tighter and tighter. I think, yeah, the site's going to grow. It's going to keep growing, and I'm happy to be not on the ground floor because the site's been around for a while, but I'm happy to get on quite early. So, I can hopefully make some money myself by playing, but also, some fresh virgin ground for me to help get some of you guys into the games where, as I say, I can build my little sub affiliate business up a little bit, and you guys can play in games that are on a good site, good software, and hopefully make some money from. So yeah, if you do want to play in the games, there is going to be a link beneath the video to click that, sign up, but then do make sure you get in touch with me so we can make sure that you are all tagged correctly before you decide to go ahead, deposit and play, because I'd hate for someone to think they're all signed up and tagged and something go wrong and them not get their rate back. So if you do just decide to click the link directly without getting in touch first, do make sure you get in touch after before you start playing. Just so we can check everything's, all the ducks are in a row and you're going to be getting the rate back that's promised. We'll leave it there for now. Have a great weekend, everybody. And I'll be back making more videos next week. I'm going to try and do 2 or 3 of these videos a week. A little bit for spam purposes, but also to try and get some feedback on my play and try and like regain some confidence in my play. So hopefully we'll be doing 2 or 3 videos next week. Haven't made many this week because my wife's been off work and it's just hard to find the time and the free space in the house to make them. But yeah, as from next Monday, we're going to be seeing plenty more, probably of these types of videos. I think they're better than live play videos. They're not everyone's cup of tea. Some people like just a live play. Maybe we'll do the occasional live play one, but they're going to be mostly like just reviewing hands. And yeah, hopefully see some of you guys on Facebook or joining the Discord group and getting involved in my new project. But take care, everyone, for now. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and bye bye for now.